I am back. Today I want to talk about something that I've been seeing on my feed quite a lot recently, and that's AI influencers. But more specifically, AI influencers of minorities, because apparently taking jobs away from designers, musicians, and animators wasn't enough. AI influencers aren't new by any means, but what is new about these accounts is that they're doing everything in their power to hide the fact that they are AI. And it's working. They're gaining real followers, landing sponsorships, and arguably the worst part is that they're being positioned as real voices for communities, despite being entirely controlled by anonymous people. Not to mention that almost all of them are promoting OF accounts, but we'll get to that. So today I want to look at a few of these accounts, see how they work, and hopefully shine a bit of light onto these creators that seemingly a lot of people are praising as ambassadors. The first account that I saw doing this was someone called Nia Noir. When I first came across this influencer, and I'm sure you guys have probably seen it on your feed as well, but it was an image of her with John Cena at the gym. It had thousands of likes and shares, but at least to me it immediately stood out as AI. I don't know if it's just my internet brain rot, but at least to me it's pretty obvious. But unfortunately, not everyone seems to agree. Now I would show you these comments, but unfortunately it seems that the fame went to Nia's head because she's deleted most of the posts now. But not to fear, Facebook in all of its glory still has plenty of them up. And immediately looking at the post, to no one's surprise, it's full of the most brain-dead offensive comments that the internet has to offer. For example, "Goddamn, that's the embodiment of melanin."
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Like, brother, I hate to burst your fetish bubble, but no it isn't. It's a really odd situation to be objectifying a woman of color that doesn't really exist. Like, there isn't a real woman to feel objectified. But it doesn't mean that real women won't read these comments and be offended. It just means that whatever basement-dwelling goblin who's creating this content is making money off the objectification of others, without the consequences of being a real influencer online. Now, before making this video, being that I am your factory-built white male, I had to make very sure that these accounts were AI. And it was a lot harder than I expected. All of the normal telltale signs that a video is AI are getting harder and harder to spot. Going through her videos, there aren't the classic Sora flickering textures. Her hair is consistent against the background and all of the characters are consistent throughout. But the thing that makes these videos look really real is the motion. But there is one good reason why this motion feels so natural, and that's because it is. Take a look at this. They're literally feeding the AI real TikToks and it's stealing their exact motion. Which leads me on to possibly the worst part, which is that a large majority of these accounts are promoting OF links in their bio, which just makes me wonder where they're stealing the motion from for those videos. I'm obviously not going to pay to check this claim, but I did see one thing when I was clicking on the OF accounts, and that's this sneaky, very difficult to read bit of text at the bottom of their bio which says, "All content is private and powered by AI." So I thought I'd have a quick look at the OFTOS, and it says,
AI-generated content must comply with our terms of service and must be clearly and conspicuously captioned as AI-generated content with signifiers such as #AI or #AI-generated.
which to me just implies that the only way they're going to give the game away is if they legally have to. But that doesn't stop them from hiding it under a scroll in illegible 17th century script font. So if you couldn't immediately tell that it's AI, that's not failure on your part. That's the point. These accounts are designed to pass. The motion is lifted from real creators. The comments reinforce the illusion. The disclosure is technically there, but it's hidden enough to avoid breaking the illusion. It's not about fooling everyone. It's about fooling enough people to build an audience, land sponsorships, and to earn subscriptions for an OF account. And yes, this one might feel extreme, from gym photos with celebrities and obvious thirst traps. The whole thing turned up to 11. But at least she's not claiming to have a medical condition for engagement, right? Well, that's exactly what these next accounts are doing. Miss Black and White is another AI influencer, but this time they're posing as someone with vitiligo. Not just any vitiligo, but a perfectly symmetrical version of it, which has got the Facebook and Instagram fake news bots going crazy like this. The thing that gets me the most with this account is these weird pictures of them as a kid crying as if they've just had a photo taken of them after being bullied. It's so weird. The account is also interacting with people as if they're real. There's a comment from a... What the fuck? Get out of here. There's a comment from a person who actually has vitiligo who seems confused because theirs is in patches, like it does for most people, not this perfectly symmetrical straight line down their body, which is a completely reasonable thing to question. But then the account replies to them and tells them it's beautiful and like as if they're part of the community, talking about it like they share the same condition. And that's the part that just really doesn't sit right with me, because that's a real person who believes that they're trying to connect with someone who shares their experience, when in reality they're just talking to some random guy who probably lives in a basement and is searching ChatGPT for responses. This other account, Ava DeLone, is even selling early vitiligo photos for 25 quid on their website. If that doesn't seem exploitative, I don't know what is. Not to mention that in this pack you get early vitiligo photos and then you also get intimate wallpapers, which to me is just a tad bit odd. Now again, I had some trouble finding proof that she was definitely AI, so I joined her Telegram, which is another weird thing. A lot of these AI influencers seem to be running like Telegram channels. Anyway, I joined her Telegram so that I could try and download a few of the raw pictures, and I threw them in a metadata extractor, and strangely all of her photos seem to be taken seconds apart on the same day, and I'm talking photos of her in a snowy forest, and then in a bed eating snacks. So she's either a really, really quick model who loves to eat cat cats, or she's AI. And I know which one I'm putting my money on. This is also just a bit of a funny side note, but these accounts are fooling a lot of people online, especially Christians. They seem to think it's God's way of showing off. Like, that's lovely guys, but how about we say that about real people? Like Onella AM or Crystal Wasyke. People who are spreading positivity, but most importantly, people who are real. It's a low bar to set, in my opinion. Speaking of real people, I managed to hop on a call with a person who actually has vitiligo who can speak to their experience. Run the clip.
Cool, yeah, so have you seen it online? I know you kind of mentioned that you don't really go searching for it, but at least for me it comes up on my For You page quite often.
No, I haven't really seen anything on my Explore page. It's more the followers that come onto my account regularly that I notice aren't real people. I'm in a group with women around the world, and it's been brought up many times about who is real and who is not, and their concerns of who to add and who to not. I think what you mentioned before, how you said it's coming onto your page and you weren't aware, I think there's a pro with that, because I think there should be more awareness for this skin condition. But the con is that it is affecting those who have spent their years building their brand and their community and their living, trying to help others with this symptom. I think there's a pro aspect to letting the world know that there is a skin condition and to be more aware of it. But at the same time, it's not great for a community that are really looking for people who have understanding and insight to the skin condition. And you're not going to find that with AI. We're now at a stage where difference is more appealing in the fashion industry. I did some modeling, and the more real you look and the more different you look with your either freckles or pigmentation, the more they want you because it sells. So I think AI taking over this is really damaging to those who are part of this and looking to build their future around this, because it helps people build their confidence as well. And when you've got AI bots that are taking over that, sorry, this huge wasp or something. I live in a jungle. It's like, yeah. I was 19 when I first got my pigmentation loss, and the only people with vitiligo were Michael Jackson and Winnie Harlow. So what concerns me is that you've got a whole generation of young girls that are now teens, and they're looking at this, and this is what they're seeing, and this is their representation. And my sister, who is 11 years younger than me, I was worried about her growing up because she was in the era of the Kardashians.
It's funny because I feel like the Kardashians almost pale in comparison to this now, because at least the Kardashians had to put in the effort.
Yes, it's so true. There's no effort whatsoever going into this, and it's really scary. Yeah, I think everything needs to be crystal clear, and everything, like it says at the top of an Instagram post, this is a sponsored ad or this is a paid partnership. This is an AI generated post. I think very, what is the word? Irresponsible of Instagram to be allowing this to happen. Yeah, and I just think it is, devilish. I think it is not okay. It takes a lot for somebody with the skin condition to be brave enough to share their story. And I know I'm speaking for myself, and I know others are similar. It is not easy. It takes a lot of courage and bravery to share with the world that this skin condition is not easy, and finding ways to navigate your life with it. So I find it offensive that people are taking advantage of this and uploading stories that are gaining following and gaining likes, and doing it in such a awful way. Like, for instance, the young girl.
Well, thank you for talking to me.
Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah,
Thank you.
It's a very different video for me.
Big thanks to Solange for speaking with me and telling me about her experience. I'll stick her links down in the bio if you want to check out her socials. But yeah, you can tell that AI has flooded social media, because when I was searching for this video, I actually almost messaged multiple people that turned out to be AI. This one says CGI model in their bio, which, side note, it would be really impressive if it was actually CGI. CGI and AI are very different, but I digress. It was actually harder to find a real person than it was an AI supermodel. Google even warned me when I searched the word vitiligo, saying, sorry, Google said that. Please be aware that there has been a recent rise in AI-generated accounts on social media that attempt to fetishize or exploit images of people with disabilities and skin conditions, including vitiligo. Like, hey Google, friendly fire much? That just set off my phone, fuck's sake. It's listening all times. Like, hey Google, friendly fire much? You're about to spend a predicted $185 billion on AI in 2026. But yeah, it just goes to show the damage that this can cause. None of these AI accounts are educating. They're just selling AI OF subscriptions with stolen conditions, stolen motion, and stolen attention. I also just want to say that AI refers to a lot of things, and that we've been using AI for a very long time and no one seems to talk about it. AI has been beating people at chess since before I was born. The use cases of AI can be positive. They're usually just hiding in places that no one seems to look. For example, Rainforest Connection has been using AI to detect sounds of chainsaws or gunshots to help prevent logging or poaching.
Jadi alat ini sangat membantu, dan tidak lagi kami melakukan patroli bulanan. Di saat kami masih ada di rumah, alat gorden ini bekerja untuk mengirim notifikasi ke HP kami, dan sehingga kami tahu.
Or it can be used for fun historical stuff like decoding texts and artifacts. I have no problem with that. I would also love to know what's in the Voynich manuscript, but unfortunately, in this world where the attention economy dictates the type of content that's made and in turn the type of content that's consumed, it's no surprise that interesting and unique looking people stop the scroll. But I think that it's important that if we do stop, whether it's from anger or admiration, to take into account that the time that we're interacting is making someone somewhere money. Because while these accounts are farming engagement using synthetic identities, the real people that they're imitating are still out there, sharing stories, their experiences, and actually representing their communities. And ironically, they're the ones being buried under a wave of AI algorithmically friendly content. So from the wise words of the old man from Monster House, get out of here! Thank you for watching my video. Please like and subscribe. Thank you to Solange, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.